Welcome back, guys. We are really excited to be here after our really fun collab last week with Tori and Chad. We loved that video a lot. Hopefully, if you haven't seen it, you can go back and watch it and watch their video. It was a blast. But today, we wanted to sit down and talk about how to know if you need to get out of town with your relationship.
No, not out of town. Actually, we're going to talk about if you need to dump somebody.
I think a huge thing with relationships and being in one in a dating relationship is sometimes you're kind of blind to what the relationship looks like on the outside, and if the actions that are happening are okay or if they're not. And so I've been noticing that in a lot of your guys' relationships. I'm not gonna say that it's you, but I am saying that a few of you have reached out about this, and we're just gonna talk about it.
Yeah, we were buying smoothies yesterday. Well, Chelsea was buying a smoothie. We got back in the car and we sent a voice message to this girl who had been in this relationship for a while, and just some stuff had gone on, and we just told her straight up to dump the dude that she was with. I think there's several reasons, and the first being that if the person you're with, be it a guy or a girl, is pressuring you to do anything or to be a certain person or to make decisions that you're not comfortable with, then I think that's a key indicator, right off the cuff, to just get out of it. And there is this I don't know, it's this subconscious ideology in humans to where we think just because we've spent time in something that we're going to waste all that time if we break up with someone. And I think that's the dumbest thing. If anything, I think you are wasting time by staying in it, and you're wasting even more time with the person that you could be with who's actually right for you. So if somebody's pressuring you to do stuff, but
the time isn't wasted that you were with them because you learned a lot, and you probably will implement those things within your next relationship. And so don't be hard on yourself if you're starting to notice patterns or a reason to break up with that person. But I know how hard breakups can be, and I know that some people like to avoid that conversation because it's just so painful. But it's so worth it once you're on the other side and you start healing and you realize who you are apart from that person, especially if they were toxic to you. So
that's good.
Whenever I was talking to this girl, we had talked before, a few months ago, and she had brought up the same issue.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
And,
recurring issues.
I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship with someone where they have struggled with something and they label it as a struggle. In this relationship that she was in, her person had continued to indulge in pornography. And we have a very strong stance on this. I know that this is kind of controversial, but it shouldn't be. If it is an ongoing thing and you know that it's an issue and you want to get rid of it, but you continue on in that cycle, it hurts the person that you're with because it kind of feels like you're being cheated on in a way.
This is what I was going to mention about that. Well, from a 30,000 foot perspective, it doesn't seem like a massive deal to some people. To us, it's an open wound. But to some people, they're whatever. But this is the problem, is that you are valuing this more than you're valuing the person that you're with. And you can sit there behind the screen, safe and comfy, all you want, and say that, no, I value my person way more. Then if that's the case, then why are you looking at it? The two just don't go together.
It just destroys your relationship bond.
They never will.
And intimacy. So anyways, you know where we stand on that, but there are so many ways to break that addiction, because it is an addiction, and it's not necessarily that these people are desiring to go back to it. It's just there's something chemically that happens whenever you watch it, and there's an addiction. It's just like drugs or addiction to sugar or whatever you want to describe it as.
It's a serotonin addiction in your brain. Feel-good hormone. It's not necessarily that you're valuing one thing over another person, but if you're not getting help for it, or you're not seeking to at least get out of it somehow, if you're saying, I can handle it, I can deal with it, it's not really a big deal, then I think at that point, that's where the issue really is, because
it's denial of the problem. I do want to say before we move forward on this subject. I know that it's a little hard to talk about. Just because you have watched pornography or, you know, messed up in a certain area does not mean you're not able to be in a relationship. The big point here is more so when you have noticed your partner or the person you're in a relationship with continuously saying that they are, you know, walking in this way but are living a hidden life in a way and are continuously doing that. And so that's more so my point. I'm not saying that you're not worthy or valuable or cherished or anything. That's not what I'm trying to say. I think that we've lived that too.
Yeah, like, 100%. And it's not just porn. It's a lot of things. It could be drugs. It could be really, I mean, it could be anything. It could be absolutely anything. Anything that's got like a stronghold on you or on the person that you're dating, on their life. I mean, I think it should be addressed and dealt with head on. And if it has to be a continual thing that you're dealing with over and over and over and over again, that's when it's a problem. We're not saying you're not worthy. We're not saying that you can't be in a relationship. I would say that I don't think you should be in a relationship while you're going through those things. I think that you should deal with it, work through it, heal from it, and then I would pursue a relationship after that. But yeah, I think that's such a good point. Like, we don't want you to feel as though you're not worthy. Or
this is strictly in dating too, because if you're in a marriage, this is a totally different situation.
All right, moving on. Yes, so in short, I would abide by the rule of just getting out of a relationship where there's a bunch of unhealthy patterns. It doesn't mean that you're not committed. It just means that you're seeking someone, one, who is committed as you are, and two, wants to pursue a healthy relationship alongside you. And you deserve to be in a healthy relationship. So I think that's a really big deal and really key, important thing to search for in a relationship.
And if those unhealthy patterns are in you that you've noticed, like then, taking a step back and just trying to address that within yourself.
Yeah, maybe take some time. But the only other thing I wanted to mention as well is that if you're in a relationship, normally this happens with younger people. It usually isn't so prominent in kind of like, you know, mid-20s, but sometimes it is. I mean, I've definitely seen it a lot before. But if you're in a relationship simply for the identity factor of being with someone else or being in a relationship or having something to do on the weekends or someone to hang out with, then I don't necessarily think that's probably the best idea. You would be surprised at how many people are in a relationship simply for that reason. One side or the other or both don't have an intention to marry. That just... I don't know, that kind of like blows my mind. I don't really understand the point of dating someone and investing in them, investing time in them, caring for them, growing.
It's because a lot of people view marriage as just a piece of paper.
Yeah,
in reality,
but like
it's not that.
Growing roots for one another, only to like have intentions from the beginning to throw it all away. I don't know. That's kind of like building a brand new house and then just like demolishing it when you're done.
So for me, I think the whole unhealthy pattern thing was really huge. And also, I don't know if anybody ever leans into this feeling, but for me, whenever I was dating, especially through high school and just teen years, I know that according to my parents, I shouldn't have dated as much as I did, but I did. And I always knew, though, immediately within like my inner gut feeling, if a relationship was going to work out or if it wasn't, very early on. And I remember getting so frustrated with that feeling with the previous relationship before Nick that I just continued on in the relationship and I ignored it because I was so frustrated with always being somebody who was breaking up with someone. I am glad that I listened to those gut feelings because in a way I think it is God like nudging our spirit, like this isn't right. It doesn't mean that somebody's like a crappy person, but just might not be the right person for you. And I think that can be sometimes misconstrued as like people who maybe have like self-worth problems or people who aren't confident in themselves. They say, you know, I have a bad gut feeling about someone and I just need to break up a relationship, but then they keep doing that over and over and over again, and when really it's an internal problem that they have that they need to address and figure out why they're so insecure about something. So I think it can go either way. Like, you have to acknowledge that you're a healthy individual and that you have good, like, discernment to be able to be like, okay, this guy, this is actually something I need to do because I'm really getting this nudge, versus like, oh, I think I'm gonna blame it on having that gut feeling, when in reality I just feel unsettled about being in a committed relationship because I've been hurt in the past or something like that. I think a lot of people need healing from previous relationships sometimes, and we just have to be open to that. So I think I would say that on my second topic.
That's good. But I mean, really, those are the big 4 things that we wanted to discuss. Not too intricate, not too like over the top with information. I think honestly, these 4 things that we cover probably 85-90% of the ground in relationships that you should get out of. I mean, of course, there's going to be, you know, smaller portions of stuff that goes on, which of course we want to be sensitive to, like different types of abuse and emotional connection issues and stuff like that. But I think really these 4 things cover like the moral ground, the integrity ground, the character ground, and those are really the big things that you want to figure out when you're dating someone.
But I think a lot of people are blind to the emotional abuse, physical, like verbal abuse. So this is just one of those things. If you need to hear this message, get out of that relationship right now. Even if it's hard for you to get out of that relationship, set up parameters to where you feel safe to do so. I know that there's tons of like online platforms too that allow you to do that in a safe way, to where that person could not like come for you or anything like that. So that's in extreme cases, but I think a lot of us would be shocked to see how many times that actually happens. So we just wanted to share this video with you. We know that our views are very strong in this area, but that's just because we really value healthy, purposeful relationships. So, Yep. Is that it?
I think that's it.
So thank you guys for listening in on all the things we have to say on this. Hopefully it can serve as a video that encourages you into healthy relationships, and I hope a lot of you guys break up with people after this.
Same.
Honestly.
We used to have a joke, like a running joke at summer camp, because, you know, when you go to Christian summer camp, so many like 14-year-old girls go back and like dump their crappy boyfriends, and so this kind of feels like summer camp all over again. I feel like so many of you are now going to be single as a Pringle. All
right, so thank you guys so much for having this conversation with us. We really hope we felt like some people just sitting across the table with you having this conversation. And if you got to the end of the video, feel free to leave a comment down below what you value in a relationship with someone. I think that it's really good to know like certain things that others value, especially in, you know, friendships too. Those are like really valuable as well. So let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell, because YouTube doesn't always notify everybody in the subscription box. So we would like you to be notified, and we'd appreciate it. So
much. We'd appreciate it so much.
And we will see you guys in the next video.
All right. Later. Deuces. See ya. I'm gonna go drink coffee.